Hello, my beautiful peeps out there. How you guys doing on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday? Today is January the 25th of 2023. I don't own the rights to this music in the background, but I am jamming on this beautiful Thursday. Gotta get myself right. Hello, my beautiful Laura. Hello, guys. You know what? I wanted to switch it up this episode. So today's topic is going to be about how to deal with a man that don't express their feelings. How many of you ladies out there are dealing with that right now, that you're in a relationship with someone? Turn this music down a little bit. You're in a relationship with someone, or even if you're not even in a relationship with someone, maybe y'all don't want to, say y'all a couple, but you're dealing with someone. And that man do not know how to express their feelings. As women, we get so angry, so upset, like it just make us crazy sometimes. When a man just don't know how to express their feelings. So I'm going to talk about a couple things, and I'm going to give you my experience of dealing with, guys that did not know how to express their feelings, and you had to like guess and wonder, I'm going to give you a couple of, experience that I dealt with and how I learned how to understand why men, it's so hard for men to just express how they feel. And also too, if any of you guys out there that's watching, and if you want to come on my live and tell me about your experience of, dealing with a guy that don't express his feelings, how did you deal with that? And also if any guys want to come on and tell us women, why y'all don't like to express your feelings. So I'm going to get started. And also too, for the ones out there that's at work and you can't watch my podcast right now at this moment, you can always go back and watch, and also share. Hit that share button. Hit it. Okay, so we're going to get started. How do you deal with a man who don't express their feelings? A lot of women out there, they question themselves when they're dealing with a man that do not know how to express his feelings. If you're in a relationship with a man who doesn't express his emotion, it can be very, very, very frustrating. Yes, it can. That is one thing that I feel like women do. We get very, very frustrated when a man do not express how they are feeling. Sometimes I feel like it starts in their home as a child. A lot of times as men, it's not a normal thing for them to, express how they feel. So being as a child, if their parents, their mother or their father don't show them how to express how they're feeling inside, they're never going to really express it. And a lot of times men are afraid to express how they feel because they feel like that's a weakness. So sometimes, we as women, especially if you're going through a journey of learning about yourself, you have to step back and ask yourself, maybe that guy don't know how, he don't know the steps of opening up, trusting you to express how he truly feels. So don't get, frustrated because you're dealing with a man that do not know how to express his feelings. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I feel like it would help to understand them more about that. Is it normal for a guy to not to express his feelings? Many men neglect to show their feelings. Some men simply have a lot of experience not expressing their emotions. You know, as a woman, it's easy for us to express our emotions, to express our feelings. You know, as a woman, that's easy to do because, you know, as women growing up, we was taught how to express our feelings, you know, express our emotions. We was taught that, but a lot of men are not taught that, you know. Um, so sometimes it takes men baby steps to really open up to their feelings. How to get a guy to open up. The best thing you can do is create in an environment, in a safe place. So that means you have to find like a safe place, because you can't go like raw to a man and expect a man to just express his feelings, because he's not going to express his feelings that way. So you have to come into a good environment, you know, a good environment to get him comfortable and to try to at least open up. You know, it's really hard to get a man to open up. I feel like that's really hard for a woman to do, is get a man to open up. You know, especially if you're dealing with a man that is so like cold-hearted, like don't show any emotions, like none. You know, it's kind of hard. It's very, very hard to get a man to open up. It takes patience. It takes a lot of patience. I know sometimes women, we don't want to hear that shit at that moment. We want to know right then. We want to know how you feel right then. But we have to learn how to back up. It takes patience. You have to learn those patience, because everybody don't have patience. Everybody don't have patience. I'm going to read a couple things, couple questions, because I see people this must be a good topic. I see people tuning in. I see people that's got some questions. I'm going to shout out a couple people real quick. Let's see. Hello, my beautiful cousin, Clifton. Hello, my beautiful cousin, Denise. Hello, my beautiful Vicky. Hello, my beautiful Tammy. Oh, hello, my beautiful Erica. How are you, beautiful? Hello, Jonathan. And Jonathan, I know you're going to request. I know you're going to request to come in. Hello, my beautiful Marisha. Hello, my beautiful May. How are you, sweetie? So let me go back and read. Let's see. Marisha stated, never say we need to talk, LOL. I even try to avoid the conversation. Yes, sometimes, you know, it's a way to tell your partner or even a friend, you know, that you need to talk. It's a way to do that. You know, sometimes you can't just burn it out and say, hey, we need to talk. Because, yes, they will try to avoid that. They will. Let's see what Jonathan says as a man's point of view. Most men only express their feelings to women that want to be loved. Oh, Jonathan, you know, as I go down in the subject, you know, you brought that question up, and that's a good question, Jonathan. And you know what? I'm going to go back to that. Because first I'm going to, you know, go and, you know, do these little questions that I feel that people want to know the answers by. So I'm going to go back to that, because that's a very, 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 very good question that you stated. Okay, let me see what my cousins say, because sometimes you all hear us speaking, but don't hear what we say. That is so true. That is so true. Y'all got some good questions, because I'm going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so let me go back to the questions. But I'm going to burn my sage like I always do every podcast, to bring in that good vibe, that good positive energy. For all you guys out there that's watching now, I am bringing good positive energy your way. Very good positive energy your way. So I'm going to burn my sage. All right. All right. Let me get back to it. Okay. What makes a man open up to a woman? Men are more guarded with their emotions and may take longer to process and express them to a woman. And that is so true. I feel like you have to gain a man's trust. I really feel it's really, you have to make a man feel like he's vulnerable, that he can just like open up to you and just express, not realizing that he is expressing his feelings. You know, because a lot of times men are afraid to express their feelings because they feel like they're going to get judged by their feelings. Because a lot of times women want men to express their feelings, but when a man is truthful about his feelings, women get upset about that. Women try to switch it around, you know, and make it about them sometimes. This is my opinion. You know, this is the experience that, you know, I learned of talking to different men, you know, on a level of different men expressing their feelings towards me, you know, because I have a lot of homeboys that, you know, I do have homeboys that do come to me and they do express their feelings, you know, and I feel like listening to them, it showed me how to approach a person when it's time for them to talk about their feelings, you know. Why is he afraid of his feelings? Many, men may feel vulnerable when loving someone if their heart has been broken. I feel like that plays a big part too, you know, because men don't get their heart broken so many times like women do. Because I feel like men know how to protect their feelings, you know, and I feel like once a man really open up himself to a woman and make himself very vulnerable to that woman, and if that woman hurts him in any kind of way, I feel like he would, it's going to be so hard for the next woman to get him to open up about his feelings. I really feel to that. I really feel to believe that because men are different from women. You know, we're used to, you know, expressing how we feel. You know, even if we got hurt by a man, you know, we'll love again and we'll express, you know, but I feel like men, they don't have too many heartbrokens. I don't think. I think it might be like one or two that a woman actually like really, really hurt that man's like heart, that he's not going to be that vulnerable anymore to express his feelings. I really feel, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. How to get a guy to open up fully to express his deepest feelings. I'm going to give you guys a couple things that I feel like. Be trustworthy. They have to trust you first with his deepest emotions. They really, really have to trust you. They really, really have to trust you. Because a lot of times, if a man don't feel like he can really, really trust you with his truly, truly feelings, he's not going to open up. Because a lot of times what women make the biggest mistake is when a man sit there and express their like true feelings, what a woman would do is if they get into any type of little argument or anything, they would throw that back into that man's face. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. If a man is going to tell you his deepest, darkest secret, I don't care what it is, don't throw that back in his face. Because if you're angry, well, don't do that. Because once you start like throwing things like that back in his face, he's going to shut down completely. He's not going to express anything to you anymore. Anything. He's going to have you guessing and wondering, and, you know, because he feels like if he trusts you enough to express his deepest feelings, he feels that you should not use that against him or throw that back in their face. Now, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm going to read some questions because I do have a couple guys on here. Okay. Yes, I was going to say that. Let me see. Men actually carry out their day on the love they get from their women. Yes, Jonathan. Men probably do that. You know, carry out their love. You know, I feel like, yes, when a man truly love you, he will go deep about his feelings about certain things, certain situations. I do truly feel that. And I really truly feel that sometimes men might feel that they can confide in one of their, you know, homegirls. When I say homegirl, meaning, you know, it's nothing wrong with having a homeboy that y'all are so close that, you know, y'all are, you know, y'all good friends, you know, y'all can confide in each other. Y'all can talk about certain situations, you know. Some men do find a friend that they feel more comfortable of expressing, you know, how they feel, because they're afraid to express to the one that they love how they feel, because sometimes women, we don't sit back and actually listen to them. We basically just want to hear what we want to hear. And a lot of times men peep that. Men, you know, will catch a hold to that. And if they feel like if every time they try to express their feelings, here we go, trying to switch it around. So they'll hold back of expressing their feelings to the one they love, because the one that they love is not getting it, you know. So sometimes, you know, as women, we have to learn how to step back sometimes. Sometimes we come on too strong as women. We do. We come on too strong sometimes. And especially if you're dealing with a man that don't express any emotions or any feelings, that's always like hard. You know, you have to push back. You know, you have to try to let them see that, you know, can they come to you? How are you going to deal with it? And they also watch how you deal with different situations too. You know, men watch things just like we watch things, you know. But how to, you know, go back to, you know, the question that I'm going to tell you how to, you know, get a guy to open up fully to express their deep feelings. And I said, you know, being trustworthy. I feel like that's number one. Number two, treat him as your equal. He is not a child you need to guide. And that's a lot of things. A lot of times women make that biggest mistake. Women always want to look at their partner, treat him like a child. You know, you have to step back and let a man be a man. You have to. You can't treat a man like he's your child. Sometimes women don't realize that they're doing that because sometimes they never got called out on it. So a lot of times women don't realize that they're doing that. You know, you have to step back, let that man be a man, let that man express how he feel about a situation. You know, you already expressed how you felt about the situation, so let him express how he feels. When you stop a man and tell him, no, this is how you're supposed to do it, this is how you're supposed to feel, this is how you're supposed to, that's wrong. That's how you feel. That's not how he feel. And then a lot of men, start shutting down because they feel like, she always comes to me like I'm a child. I'm a man. You have to practice. We have to change the way we come across, when you're dealing in a relationship. You just have to change, your approach. Recognize moments when he's trying to open up. Men can be self-conscious. Sometimes we overlook when a man is trying to open up. And this is what's one of my biggest things that I had to learn and I had to stop. And I'm still working on it. I had a big habit of when a man started to express how he's feeling on any situation, I'm always interrupting him. And I realized that when I interrupt, it stops him for telling me how he truly feels. And when you do that, that's when the confusion comes in. And that's when the women start assuming we know how they feel. So I had to learn how to just, even when you want to just say something, you want to just say, no, wait a minute, you don't. I had to learn how to just be quiet. Just let him get it out. Let him get it out. And once you get it out, then I can express, on my feeling, or I can say, oh, wow, I didn't know you feel that way, because you'll be surprised. If a man is really, really true to you and really express his true feelings, I think a lot of women will be so surprised that that man felt that way. We will. We would be so surprised if men was like how we were, just express how we feel. We will be so shocked, like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. So you have to learn how to approach. You got to learn how to approach, especially if you got that moment that that man is like opening it up. Just be quiet. Let him get it out. Because you'll be surprised at the stuff that he's getting out and he's expressing his feelings. You're going to be like, wow, I didn't know he felt that way. Oh, wow, he really do care. He really do love me. So sometimes just be quiet. Asking engagement questions. Start questions with what, when, or how. These questions give him the opportunity to say what he wants to say without putting him on a defense. And that's true. You have to learn how, whatever situation that you and your partner is going through, you have to learn how to ask the right questions to get your partner to open up. Because men are not going to just open up. Men are not going to just come out and just talk about their feelings like we do as women. Men are not going to do that. So you have to find ways to approach. It could be anything. You can just start talking about sports. And you could just throw that little question in there and you'd be surprised that he didn't even quit. He didn't even think about the question. He just spoke on it. So you have to find ways to try to open up your partner to express his feelings. You have to find ways. Don't shove whatever issues you want to discuss down his throat. Start a conversation gentle and try to remain non-judgment. Let him start talking about his deeper feelings. A lot of times women make a bigger mistake is that we always want to shove an issue down their throat. I feel like when you do that, that's when it causes anger. That's when it causes with tension. That's when it starts coming with, bad negative energy. I feel like when you just shoving something, an issue down your partner's throat, I feel like you can't do that. You can't do that. because definitely a man will shut down all the way down. He'll shut down to a point that he'll just walk away and he won't even talk about it no more. You know, he'll just leave you standing there just going off. No, you know, so you have to learn how to approach different issues. You have to learn how to approach different issues, especially if you want your partner to open up and express, you know, how he's feeling, you know. And then sometimes you have to pay attention to your partner too, because sometimes at that moment, that issue that you're trying to shove down his throat, he might not be in that mood, you know. So you got to pay attention, you know. You gotta peep when it's the right time, you know. You got to pay attention. Pick a good time for both of you. Sometimes I feel like some situations that you're dealing with your partner, sometimes I feel like you have to pick a time. And when I say a time, I'm not talking about like sit there and say, oh, 5 o'clock, that's what I'm going to talk to him about. I'm not talking about that. What I mean by pick a time is that when you find yourself in a good moment with your partner, and you noticing that your partner is like opening up, talking about different things, expressing about different things, I feel like sometimes that might be a good timing for you to express an issue that you want his opinion about, or you want his feelings about. You know, you have to find moments to get both of y'all in the right space, the right energy, to come across things that you feel that you want to know how he feel about things, you know. So you have to learn how to, you know, go about discussing, you know, different type of issues. And one thing, whenever you're out in public, whatever issue that y'all might have dealt with or dealing with, or if it's something that you feel that it would just cause up, you know, when you're out in public or whatever, don't expect your partner to express how they're feeling when y'all out in public around people. A lot of times women, you know, they might get into a little argument with their partner, and the first thing is say, well, how do you feel about that? Then why you did that? A man is going to shut down real quick, because a lot of times I feel like men are very, very, very private. They're very private. I feel like men do not want their partner to like bring up issues that should be private. I feel like when you have different type of issues and you're out in public with your friends, you know, I feel like you should leave those issues at home. You know, because I feel like nobody should know what you and your partner is dealing with. That is my biggest thing, is that nobody should know what's going on between you and your partner at home. I feel like that should be a very, very private situation between you and your partner. Because a lot of times, you know, people get feeded off of other people's energy, and sometimes that energy is not good for your relationship, if you understand what I'm talking about. So just watch when you're out in public, you find across that you and your partner has an issue of certain things, you know, when y'all surrounded by people, you know, don't bring those issues, you know, keep those issues private. You know, nobody should know that you and your partner are mad at each other. Nobody should know that. You know, nobody should know that. I feel like that part needs to, you know, stay private. But a lot of times, you know, people, you know, it takes people, you know, longer to really, really understand about a relationship. You know, everybody deals with their relationship different. You know, everybody deals with their relationship different. But in my opinion, I feel like, you know, whatever you're dealing with in your relationship, I feel like that should be private. I feel like you should be out in the public, you know, making a scene, making it obvious that you and your partner is mad at each other. Because a lot of times, you know, you might get in an argument as you're going to wherever you have to be. But I feel like once you get out those doors, okay, nobody's going to know that me and him just got finished being heated with each other. That should be private. You know, and a lot of times people make a bigger mistake that they let the world know what goes on, you know, in their household because they bring it out to the public. And I feel like that's a no-no. You know, because once you start bringing it out to the public, everybody's going to have their opinions on stuff. So then that's when it brings in a lot of the negative energy because, you know, people going to make their opinions. You know, so I feel like when it comes to dealing with your relationship, it should be y'all two opinion, you and your partner opinion, not the outside world opinions. That's what I feel, you know. But anyway, you do you, whatever makes you happy. Be willing to go with the flow and shift the topic when it's needed. And when I mean say shift the topic, is that if you notice him becoming aggravated during the conversation, let the topic rest for a moment. Let it rest for a moment. Because a lot of times as women, we get heated up, like real heated up. And sometimes it takes a lot for us to just calm down. And if it does take a lot for you to calm down, that means you need to start working on your patience and your calmness. You know, because a lot of times that when we are so aggressive and it brings on more tension. So if you find yourself that you notice him getting a little aggressive about what the issue or what you asked him, just take a moment and just change the subject. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Change the subject. Change the subject because you don't want a man to express how he feels if he's very aggravated, pissed off, angry. You don't want him to express how he feels because if he expresses how he feels at that moment, you're not going to like it. So if you find your partner, you know, being very aggravated about that question, take a moment, change the subject, wait a few minutes, you know, wait an hour or two, whatever you feel like the moment will be right again to bring it up. So, you know, sometimes, you know, we have to watch the signs. We have to like step back sometimes, because sometimes, you know, that's just like, you know, you have to switch it around. If he comes to you with a question and you find yourself aggravated or irritated, you want him to take a moment to chill out, step back. So you have to, you know, do the same. Watch your body language. It's important to stay cool and collected because you don't want it to turn into a fight. Talking about feelings is difficult for a man. It's so difficult for a man to express his feelings. So you have to try to find ways that would help your partner to open up about his feelings. You have to. you know, because you got to remember, a lot of men out there do not know how to express their feelings. A lot of men do things in a way to express their feelings, but sometimes the way they do things to express their feelings, to you, that's not how you're supposed to express your feelings. So you have to have patience with a man that don't know how to truly express how he feels, because you have to understand, a lot of times when men do try to express how they feel, women shut them down, or women will play them like they weak or call them a punk ass. You know, so you have to, you know, you have to learn how to approach a man when it comes to him expressing how he feels. Remember, it's not about you. Sometimes women, we always feel like it's about us. It's about us. It's about us. It's about us. And we forget it's not about us. It's about them. You know, if you really, really sit there and think about when you started off in a relationship, when you first had a boyfriend, you start off in a relationship. As women, we always want to ask men how they feel about, how I want to say it. We always want to know how they feel about us. Sometimes you have to, what I want to say. Let me think. I'm gonna go back to that because I'm gonna go back to that. Be curious about how he feel about certain issues and listen. It's important to feel like he has been heard and understand. And that's the biggest thing that when men throw back in your face and say, oh, it's all, you always want to say it's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Yes, as women, we always feel like it should be all about us. But sometimes we forget to hear them and understand them. When you start off in a relationship, you have to start understanding your partner. And I feel like growing up and getting into a relationship, I feel like we forgot about that. We forgot about really, really learning them, like really asking questions of things of what they're interested in, you know, what things they like, what things they don't like, what things that irritates them. You know, I feel like those questions needs to be asked more, because it's like a lot of times in a relationship, people really don't know each other. They really don't. And it's like, when you really find out about things about your partner, sometimes you're in shock because you really didn't truly learn about your partner. You know, I think if we start taking time learning more about each other, I feel like it will make it easier for a person to actually open up and express their feelings. Sorry about that. I live by an airport. Y'all hear the digging plane. I'm gonna wait, drink me a sip while the plane go through. Um, and I feel like once we understand each other, we can actually hear each other. And I think that's where we lose when it comes to a relationship. I feel like a lot of times we get into a relationship so quick that we really don't actually learn that person. We actually don't learn the things that that person like, you know, if that person don't like, you know. And a lot of times in a relationship, I feel like a lot of times we're not ourselves. We're actually like faking to be something that our partners want us to be. That's my opinion. Sometimes it's so hard to try to get him to open up our ways. Sometimes it's so hard to get a man to open up our ways. He's never going to take the same approach to sharing his feelings the way you want him to. And that is so true. That's why it comes back of learning your partner. As women, we make the biggest mistake that we want our partner to do it our way, to express our way. But we're forgetting that they're human too. They have their own way of approaching their issues and their feelings. So we have to stop expecting them to approach things the way we approach things. Because you got to realize we're two different people. You know, everybody has a different way of approaching things. Just because you approach things your way, that doesn't mean that your partner needs to approach it his way, you know, the same way that you're approaching it, you know. So you got to start learning about your partner. You really do. You have to really, really start learning about your partner, because I feel like once you start learning about your partner, I feel like your relationship will be stronger. I really feel that. You know, you have to start, you know, learning things. You have to not go into your relationship of being selfish, because sometimes as women, we do get selfish, you know. We get very, very selfish, you know, and we forget about their feelings because we're so focused on our feelings. I'm going to give you guys, okay, I'm going to tell you my experience on, and I'm going to, because I have just a few. So my experience of learning how to let a man open himself up and be true. I dealt with one guy that was so hard, that did not know how to show any type of emotions, any feelings, any of that. And that was the hardest thing for me in a relationship, is to deal with someone that did not know how to show any emotions or any feelings. So I had to learn more about that person. I had to really like sit there and learn that person. And what I learned was that that person, family, didn't know how to express how they felt. It was always their guards was up. And they're so used to holding things in and don't know how to express things. And when they do express things, they express things in the wrong way of hurting someone. So I had to learn how to approach that person, for that person to feel that they can trust me, to allow them to open up what they was feeling inside. You know, that was a hard approach, you know, because I was so used to dealing with guys that, you know, you might deal with guys that some of them, you know, sometimes they express their feelings and sometimes they don't, but they still express their feelings. They still, you know, and then you know, you might meet this one guy like I did that don't express their feelings, don't show any emotions, don't do any of that. So that's totally different. So I didn't know how to approach that. I didn't know, what I needed to do. I just didn't. So I had to realize, hold up. If a person don't know how to express what they're feeling inside, how do I expect him to express his feelings? So I had to handle the approach in a different way. I had to show him that I cared about his feelings. I had to ask him more of, how are you feeling today? You have to find ways to try to open them up. And that's the approach that I went, is to let him feel comfortable enough and to trust me enough that he can open up to me and tell me how he feels. Regardless if it's something that I felt in my mind that, oh wow, oh, that's hurtful. Whatever. I had to say to myself that I had to accept his truth. And it's hard. It's hard, especially when they actually tell you the truth, how they truly feel. It's hard because sometimes you say to yourself, wow, wow, I didn't know you felt that way. Wow, this and that. But once I showed him how to go about expressing how he feels, it made it seem a little easy for him in the beginning, but it then is also like shutting back down. So I had to ask him certain things in his life. I had to ask him, like, what is the biggest thing in your life that you feel like, you needed from your parents, or, anything, because men deal with a lot of stuff. Men hold everything in, they suffer a lot in silence. They do. So he expressed to me what he was lacked of. And what he was lacked of is expressing how he was feeling inside. He was so used to holding all of that in that he didn't know how to express. And when he did express, he felt that by him expressing the way he was expressing, he thought that that was good, that a woman should automatically know, hey, this is what I express, this is how I feel. But he realized that you were expressing it the wrong way. You have to talk to them and you have to ask them, how are they feeling inside? Ask them about different situations that you find them going through. You have to ask them how they feel about, certain things, because once a man feels that trust in you, he will open up to you. He will express how he feels, and whatever he expressed, don't make judgments. Don't shut him down. Don't shut him down. Don't do that. I'm going to give you guys ways to get him to open up about his feelings. 1, don't assume you know what he's thinking. Stop doing that. Stop assuming that we know what they're thinking. Because a lot of times what we assume is something negative. So don't assume what he's thinking. Don't do that. Don't put words in his mouth. Let him get it out and tell you exactly how he's feeling. 2, wait until it's a good time to ask. Meaning that, wait when the moment is good. Wait for the moment that's good. Because if you're in a relationship with a person, you should have a lot of good moments with each other. You should have a lot of good moments. So wait for a real good moment to really, ask them something. Give them space to respond. Sometimes, we have to give them space. We have to let them take a moment to think, walk away, to get their thoughts together. Because for men, that don't come to them like that, like women do. You know, if a man asks us how we feel on a certain situation, we're going to come to him right there, right then and there. Men, it might need it for them to step away for a minute and let them thoughts come to their mind. Especially if you got a man that's like always serious, hard, like just don't show no emotions. You gotta give him some space. Let him think about that. For show him appreciation. A lot of times women forget to show their partner appreciation. We have to start showing our men appreciation, because you have to realize that a man is going to bend over backwards for his partner. But a lot of times men don't get that pat on the back and say, baby, thank you. You know, I appreciate everything you do. You have to tell a man that. You know, you have to tell him that more often. You know, you have to. And women, we get caught up in ourselves being selfish, because all we focus on is that, oh, he got it, you know, and we forget to say, hey, I appreciate you, I love you, you know, give him flowers, you know, do anything that he likes, that, you know, things that, you know, he likes, you know, show him your appreciation. 5, don't make him wrong for his feelings. If he tell you how he truly feel about whatever situation that you come across, that you talk about, whatever, don't make him feel wrong about his feelings. Don't do that. You have to learn how to accept that is his feelings. He is being honest with you about his feelings. A lot of times women forget that we always holler out that we want somebody to truly tell us the truth, how they truly feel. And when you get a person that do that, it's a problem. It's an issue. You know, you can't handle it. You know, so stop asking for the things that you want, and you know you can't handle those things. Stop it. Because you might come across a man that really, really, truly tell you how he truly, truly feels. Because a lot of men are starting to open up and express how they feel, because they need to open up how they truly feel. Men need to stop, you know, being closed-mouthed and not expressing how they truly, truly feel. And I think that once men start learning how to express how they truly, truly feel and get it out, I feel like a relationship will be stronger, you know, because y'all both can express how y'all truly feel about each other. You know, and you can't get mad because he's telling you his true feelings. Like when you tell him your true feelings, he shouldn't get mad. It's how y'all truly feel inside. Why fake it? You should be tired of faking how you feel to your partner. Stop faking the shit. It's time to open up. Open your feelings. And another thing, don't constantly bring up the past or make him wrong for what he's feeling. Stop. I feel like if you and your partner discuss something and your partner tells you exactly how he truly feels, don't keep bringing that same shit up thinking that your partner is going to change the way he feels. Stop it. Once you discuss something and that partner tells you exactly how he feels, let it go. That's over with. Don't bring that back and say, well, you said this in your past, you said this, and that, and you said you felt it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if he's being true, like truly how he feels. You know, don't do that. Because one thing men do not like for you to throw that back in their face. Especially if they're being true to you. Don't throw it back in their face, because they're going to feel like shit. I was being true to her, but all she's doing is throwing the shit back in my face. Don't do that. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Don't do that. And the things that you can start off, you know, to help you understand, you know, what questions, you know, how to start off dealing with a man that don't express his feelings. I'm going to tell you a couple things. One, talk about his interests. Ask your partner, what is his interest? Ask your partner that. Talk about it. Ask him. Ask him, you know, what things that interest him. He's going to tell you exactly. If he tells you, oh, nothing, he's lying. He's lying. Don't give up. You know, you can say it in a positive way. Be like, oh, baby, now you know you got something that you're interested in. Then he's going to, you know, he's going to feel comfortable. He's going to express, you know, the things that he's interested in. You know, and another thing, make y'all conversation be natural. And when I say by being natural, be natural. Be your true self. You know, learn how to communicate. That's the biggest thing. And I feel like once you start learning how to communicate, it will bring your relationship closer. You know, because a lot of times we don't actually sit there and hear our partner. We don't. So you got to start learning how to make things natural. So it could be a natural conversation to each other. Y'all both feel comfortable of talking to each other. You know, me and my husband, we do that a lot. You know, because my husband is a person that he really don't express his feelings. He really don't really talk about how he's feeling. He really don't. He's very quiet when it comes to things like that. So I learned ways of getting him comfortable, of opening up and talk to me about, you know, different things. You know, he loves football. I can start the conversation off as about the football game, asking something, you know, about the football game. And then I can lead into say, well, babe, you know, how was your day today? You know, and he'll express, you know, whatever, you know, and I'll bring up, you know, something that I feel that, you know, he might be dealing with. You know, I'll say, you know, babe, you know, is there anything that you want to talk about? You have to start conversations for them to open up, for them to talk, to get it out. Because men need to get out the things that they're going through. They need that. Because men have a lot of pressure on them. They have a lot of pressure. And it's not fair for men out there to not express their feelings, what they're going through. You know, you have to just find ways to communicate with each other, you know, on a positive, you know, a positive way, you know, because you want your relationship to be positive. You know, you want to learn, you know, learn each other. You know, it takes a while to learn your partner. But if you're willing to open yourself up and learn him, you know, and learn the things that he's interested in, learn, you know, the things that makes him angry, learn about the things that irritates him. When you start learning about your partner, it teach you more of understanding him, you know, because especially if you're dealing with a partner that is so laid back and so like quiet. I ain't gonna even say quiet. I'm just gonna say just a laid back person, just laid back. You can't be the partner that's an aggressive. You cannot. You cannot deal with. Wait. Let me rephrase that. If you're dealing with a partner that is so laid back, because they have a lot of men that are so laid back, and they have a lot of men that are so laid back are dealing with women that's so aggressive. You have to, as a woman, as being aggressive, you have to learn how to calm yourself. Because sometimes by you being so aggressive, you're shutting your man down of him expressing how he feels, because he feels like if he expressed his true feelings to you, you're going to go into an aggressive mode. So if you deal with a man that is so laid back, you have to be on their level. You have to come to them in a calm way. You can't come to them in an aggressive way, because soon you come to them in an aggressive way, they're going to shut down real quick, real fast. So if you're an aggressive in your relationship when it comes to your partner expressing themselves, you're going to have to teach yourself how to learn how to calm yourself down and don't come aggressive. You know, because for one thing, you shouldn't come aggressive when it's a situation that y'all both need to sit down and talk about. Yes, it might be a conversation that is so freaking heated that burns your skin up that you just want to just go the off. And I've been there, done that. But I had to teach myself. In order for me to get the true answers, I have to calm myself down. Because if I come in it and just raw off and be aggressive, we're not going to get nothing accomplished. All we're going to do is build up the fire, bring in more bull crap, and we forgot all about the main thing. So you have to learn how to approach. You have to calm yourself down, especially when you deal with a man. You have to calm yourself down. You can't approach being aggressive, especially if it's a situation that you want to know the true feelings. You have to. And you have to learn how to accept the true feelings. You ask for it, they give it to you. Learn how to accept that. It's going to be a hurtful feeling. Yes, it is. But you know what you tell them? Thank you. I am so glad that you felt comfortable enough to be honest with me. Now I know how you truly feel on that situation. I don't have to assume. I don't have to guess. Because a lot of times when we assume as women how they feel, it just brings in negative thoughts for us. Negative thoughts. Negative thoughts. But if we learn how to accept the truth from them and tell them, thank you, then that man's going to feel comfortable that he knows that his partner is not going to make judgmental, or she's not going to be pissed off because he's being true and being honest. That's how you build up a strong relationship with each other. You know, a lot of times women always ask what they want, and when God bring it to us, we can't handle it. So stop asking for certain things you want in a relationship if you can't handle it. Stop that. To build up a relationship, to have a good bonding relationship, it starts with communication. That's the biggest key. You got to learn how to talk to each other, not at each other. When you find yourself in a heated moment, stop the conversation. Stop it. Just stop it. One of you guys have to be the bigger person, and you're gonna have to stop. You're gonna have to walk away. Cool each other down. And if y'all don't discuss that conversation that day, you wait until it's a good time and bring it back up. And then you're going to accomplish what you need to talk about. And the biggest key that I'm telling all you guys out there, keep your conversation private. Don't let the outside world know what goes on in your household when it comes to issues with you and your partner. I don't care what type of issue. I don't care if people out there know that your partner cheated on you and y'all dealing with that issue, y'all deal with that issue in the household together. Don't go outside and deal with those issues and ask people, you know, don't do that. Don't do that, because that's when it brings in the negative. That's when it brings in all that negative energy. Because my thing is, as a woman and as a man, you know exactly what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. You know that. Stop saying the things that you're not going to tolerate, but you're tolerating it. That's where we mess up at. If you're not going to tolerate certain things, don't tolerate certain things. Don't. We have to learn how to stand our grounds. We have to express how we feel when it comes into a relationship. You have to ask your partner how they feel on certain situations. You have to get that understand, so it won't be no issues. No issues. You have to give your partner that love, that trust. You have to let your partner feel like they're comfortable to talk to you. Don't make your partner feel like they have to go to other people to talk to. They should be able to come to you and be comfortable enough to express. They should. You know, we have to start telling our partner how we feeling inside and how to deal with different situations. Because if we don't learn how to communicate with each other, we're going to lose each other in the relationship. And you know, when you're with a person for a long time, you have to bring that love back into your relationship. You have to. Because when you together with a person for a long time, like me and my husband, we've been married for 15 years. Through those whole 15 years, it wasn't all lovey-lovey, all happy. You know, you get a moment in your life that y'all find yourself dripping apart because y'all focusing on other things and y'all forgetting about each other. So you have to bring that love back. You have to fall in love with your partner all over again. You have to. You know, you have to build that bond back, because we do fall out of love. We do. But you have to bring it back into your relationship. And bringing it back into your relationship, you know, you have to start with better communication with each other. You know, you have to bring the positive back into your relationship. You know, because we all get frustrated, we all get angry, you know, we all dealing with different type of things, but it's not fair to take our anger out on each other. You know, it's not fair. But once you learn how to sit there and talk about things, to express those feelings out, it makes your relationship stronger. It does, you know. But if you have someone that you truly love, that you're dealing with right now, that it's hard for him to express how he feel, find ways to get him to open up. You know, find ways, you know, find things that you find him that he's interested in. You know, like me, you know, my husband loves sports. So, you know, I find ways of, you know, talking to him about sports, and I found ways to slide in, you know, things that he's not really paying attention, that I slide in that and he's answering it. You know, you have to find ways for him to open up, because men do want to open up to their partner. They do. They want to express how they truly feel to their partner. You know, you got to let your partner know that that's not being weak, you know, because you're expressing how you're feeling. You know, give your partner that hug. You know, give him that confidence that he know that he has that person that he can truly, truly, you know, release how he feel inside, you know. And I see a lot of beautiful couples out there that has a good, you know, communication with each other. You know, I peep, you know, I peep couples when I'm out and about. I peep how, you know, a couple have good communications with each other. And I also peep out the ones that, you know, they out and about with each other, but it's like they're not saying anything to each other. They're not having any words to each other. That's, you know, that I feel like they need a lot to work on, you know, because when you're out in public with your partner, you know, you should be like, you know, like, hey, you know, y'all all giggling, laughing at each other, you know, people wondering what y'all laughing for. You know, I feel like you should have that bond with each other. But before I go, like I always tell you guys, don't forget to give someone a hug out there, because everybody needs a hug. Everybody needs a hug. And the devil is working, y'all. The devil is working. The devil is working, y'all. Because the devil tried to work on me yesterday, y'all. These damn patients. Ooh, yes. You know, if you work in the health field, y'all already know what I'm talking about. But I didn't allow the devil to take that energy away from me. I did not. You know, I did not. But for the ones out there that feels like your back is against the wall, you feel like you just want to give up, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep on pushing, 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 pushing. Give it to God. Put it in God's hands. He's going to guide you. He's going to show you. It might not be right that moment at that time when you want it, but he's going to help you through it. It just takes patience. And just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. And then for the ones out there that have lost someone this week, I have lost someone. Keep their memories alive. Keep talking about them. Keep posting pictures. Whatever you do, just don't stay there in that sad, sad moment, because that brings on depressions, brings on other things, brings on negative thoughts. You know, just keep their spirits alive, and remember, they always with you. They might not be there in flesh, but they're there in spirits. Remember that. Remember that. And also to please share. If you feel like, you know, somebody needs to listen to this, please share. Please share. And thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. And hey, y'all have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weekend. And I'm so excited because this weekend, you know, my husband is a big, big Philadelphia Eagle fan. And my best friend, my sissy, I call her my sissy, Roncia husband, Debbie T, the ones out there that knows him, he's a big 49 fan. So, that's going to be so exciting this weekend to watch the game or whatever. But yes, you know, and I see all those Cowboys are, you know, kind of a little down. Boy, they was talking about them Cowboys, but hey, it is what it is. And I'm so excited too, because the Super Bowl is on my mother's birthday, February the 12th. So yes, of course, I'm going to have a little celebration for my mom. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. And don't forget, if you're dealing with a man that is so hard for him to open up, just be patient. Find ways to open him up to his feelings. And ask your partner how he's feeling. Let him get it out. Let him talk about it. And remember, don't interrupt. Just be quiet and let him talk. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. See y'all next time. Bye.